The Turkish president has slammed the United States' anti-Iran sanctions as unjust. Recep Tayyip Erdogan saying that excluding Iran from regional matters is wrong. Erdogan added that the U.S. is going down the wrong path by threatening and using blackmail instead of dialogue. He noted that it's impossible for any country to trust Washington. Well, he said that the U.S. has lost credibility by engaging in a global trade war as well. Erdogan also said that fluctuations in the lira do not reflect the economic reality. The Turkish president added that his country is on the verge of overcoming attacks on its economy. Now from Ontario, we'll have Jason Unruhe, who's a political commentator and analyst. Good to have you with us, Jason. Turkish president, mostly what we have in this news piece, has talked about anti-Iran sanctions by the U.S., calling it unjust, and that the U.S. is on the wrong path. And he recommended that instead of threatening and using blackmail, that Washington should turn to dialogue. Do you agree with him?
Well, I would certainly think so. That the United States has not lived up to many of its obligations. The withdrawal from the JCPOA agreement was certainly an indication of that. The United States has certainly demonstrated to many people that they are not willing to engage honestly with many states, whether they be European, fellow North American, or Middle Eastern, or Middle Eastern countries. The United States certainly seems to have at least the feeling under Donald Trump that they can do whatever it is that they want. They don't have to abide by any agreements that they have previously signed. I mean, obviously these sanctions, even tariffs on other countries, are being used as, frankly, a form of economic sabotage in order to bully countries into bowing to U.S. interests. I mean, the idea that the United States cares about the Iranian people over, alleged human rights abuses, etc., is simply nonsense. The United States has no concern for human rights whatsoever. If that was so, then they would not have engaged in so many unjust wars. They wouldn't be supporting Saudi Arabia's genocide on Yemen. They wouldn't be backing the Israeli regime, etc. So I think that the Turkish president certainly sees that this is true, and they are currently being assaulted by the U.S. as well. I think it's a situation where Turkey is now on the wrong side of the U.S., and they're starting to get an idea of what it's like to be one of the many of the Middle Eastern countries that have found themselves on the sharp end of U.S. foreign policy. So I think that a lot of these countries that are currently under siege by the United States and their actions, standing together in solidarity would certainly be very helpful. We've seen this stance from the European Union. They are already officially in a union. Their solidarity together against tariffs and whatnot by the United States has been at least somewhat successful in standing up to the current U.S. president. So I think that Turkey is in kind of the same boat as a lot of other countries, especially like Iran. They have a shared interest in creating a political and military stability inside of Syria. This is something that many countries in the region do want in terms of creating a better situation for all, at least of those who are not under the guidance of U.S. imperialism. So I think that the Turkish president is certainly right in this situation, and he sees his interests bound up with Iran's as well.
All right, appreciate your comments. Political commentator, analyst Jason Unruhe, joining us from Ontario.